of Ibadan, which started in England in about 16th century and spread to France, America, and other countries between 17th and 18th centuries. And then they now enter Africa and East Asia about the middle of the 19th or 20th century. And even though in our own case, we also, the thing had suffered a misfortune because it got distorted and came by way of a military government and a one-party system. So unfortunately, we had not been able to foist on our nation these basic elements of democracy, basic underpinnings of democracy. In most cases, certain persons have attributed these to the ways that we fought and obtained independence. Because independence were fought for and obtained in ways that attracted and accepted confrontation as a means. And again, the idea of even having independence did not have that mass general will of the people. It only had the will of a group of elites who came together as vanguard group and decided to pursue to have this power back from the colonial masters. And means that were utilized in getting these things were confrontational in approach. And on the basis of that, we forgot putting in place those solid underpinnings on which democracy could grow. So democracy is an atonement to a particular atmosphere. That atmosphere are those solid underpinnings which are lacking in our country. But it is the responsibility of Nigerian government, if we really hope to grow, if we hope to advance, to first of all look at those things and look for ways of using democratic means to provide those underpinnings, and it's quite achievable.
No exclusive question, Your Excellency. There are speculations that Ribadu is coming back into the government and might actually become the special advisor on anti-corruption with the president. If this were the case, would it be right for Goodluck to bring Ribadu back into government, knowing how he left?
I do not think I am in a better position to suggest President whoever he will have to work with. It is a different thing if you ask me a question about the success of the war on corruption, and I will tell you in that case that to me it remains a far cry to our aspirations. Because since independence we have constantly identified corruption as the bane of our social development. And we have set in each occasion set up means and ways, strategies to overcome this scourge. But each time the thing annihilates our expectations and kills our anxiety towards success. So, but corruption to me remains a symptom of the larger absurdity that is upsetting the country called Nigeria. It is not a pathology on its own, but a symptom of a major problem. And what is the major problem? Is the issue of the mind I have told you of. Once we are able to deal with that intangible part of the Nigerian called mind, then he will be able to feel, he will be able to see. He will see that, oh, there is a punishment if you do this, and he will avoid such punishment. But we try to handle corruption as though it is a pathology, a source of a problem of its own. And I know that whenever the solutions, whenever the source of a problem, the cause of a problem is misplaced, the potentiality of the solution is equally missed. If a man has a sore, a deep sore on his leg, which has remained over time and become cancerous, at a certain stage, after several years, if nothing is done, he might begin to develop body weakness, he might begin to suffer hypertension, he might begin to dizziness and all that, and constant headache. Now, if you take such a patient to a doctor, you know that diagnosis in medicine precedes prescription. If after such diagnosis, and the doctor now decides to treat the patient of the constant headache, then the headache will go and will come back. Because the source of the headache could be the deep sore on the leg. But the moment you cure that one, then all these other symptoms will disappear. That is how I see the issue of corruption in Nigeria. The source of the problem, the pathology itself, is the mind, that intangible part of man, which in Nigeria has never been conditioned, broadened, or polished. And so the day we succeed in entering into that intangible part, removing that deep element that makes us to always falsify issues, compels us to do that which we ought not to have done, and gets us on the path of acting like an Anglican prayer book, lost sheep, as the case may be. It is only when we are able to, we have successfully removed that and conditioned it, that we will now see all the symptoms: tribalism, corruption, and all these other social issues of our social incontinence disappearing one after the other, because they are all held by this intangible part called mind. We will never act out if we have not conceived. So the point of entry is the mind, and that is where the cure must take place.
Wonderful. Your Excellency, I want to actually ask you something about corruption, because some people have said, Your Excellency, that what we actually call corruption, some aspects of corruption, are actually very cultural. And I explain, Your Excellency. For example, Your Excellency, you know, in the olden days, when a young man wanted to start a farm, and he approached an older man, an elder who has got a bigger farm, he will go with a bottle of hot drink, something in order to open the dialogue. And then when he actually harvests his crops, he had to actually go back and give this older or this elder some of the profit. Now, some people are saying, okay, that this whole issue of going for a contract and the big man saying, look, you've got to give me something out of this, or the contractor saying, look, I'll give you 20%. Some people are saying that it's actually a cultural